Another Cubs offensive dud. Might be one too many for me. Let's see what Matt has to say.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Sam Older. That's Matt Cozy. You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Later on in the show, we talk about, was this the best crosstown series of our lifetime? It was a dramatic, really fun situation at Wrigley. I'm disappointed that Wednesday was a day game. It really took the steam.
That was a mistake
out of this series because the Cubs are off on Thursday and the White Sox are here. So I don't understand why they couldn't have played a night game. It just not even forget the result of the game. It just really took the steam. The atmosphere was nothing like it was. We talk about Ian Happ, who's just been abysmal now for 2 straight months, and I'm just so tired of it. And I did a solo show last week, and I think people thought I was actually defending Happ by saying, oh, he's just a fine player. I want to get into that. I'm just done with it, okay? Some positive injury updates. But, Matthew, we start at Wrigley. You were working during the game. Here's the good news. There's nothing to catch you up on. Nothing happened. Jose Urquidy, is I saying that right?
Urquidy, yeah.
Urquidy. He came into the game, no disrespect to him. He's had some great moments in his career, but at this point in his career, he's, a 4A guy. At one point, he struck out 8 through 3. He finished the game 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 hits. The Cubs had 2 hits all game by Tyrone Taylor, who made a base running gaffe. And then I read a stat. It's the first time a reliever's went 6 shutout out of relief in Wrigley since like the 1900s. It's just, let me put it to you like this.
Why did he pitch the 9th, by the way?
Because they had Taylor. They're the big money, their big guy going. Let me put it to you like this. If your standard and your mindset right now is, hey, let's just get in the playoffs, feel good, get a home series, then this isn't a big deal at all. If you're like me and you really want to make this thing a division race, you just can't mail these games in, Matt. And I have it here for you. The first game of the second half that you went to, dud.
Yeah, it was bad.
July 22nd at home against the Tigers, 1-run dud. When I say dud, these are games you just say, oh, throw it in the trash, move on. But if you have that many of them, fast forwarding to the Yankee series at home, Friday shutout, Sunday 1-run duds. And then you go into that Cade Cavalli game, shutout dud. And then today, offensive dud. Overall, their offense has been great. It's just one too many duds for me.
Well, they've had 12 losses since the break, and most of them have been offensive duds where it's either a close game or it is close, like middle-ish to late, like it was today, and then the other team pulls away a little bit. I mean, it was only 3-0 today, but it felt like the Nationals lost last week. It just felt like they were down more. Mm-hmm. I think there's the one perspective that I would want to keep here is in terms of actual losses. Of those 12, only 2 have been in a row. That was just this past weekend. It was fresh. But they've won a lot. It's just that when they lose, it does seem like it's a very similar recipe. And for games like this to happen so often, about 50% of their losses since the break, and admittedly with what the Brewers are doing, it does seem like, even though it's only been a week, that, again, my mindset has shifted. I was last week at this time, it was the dream of all dreams. Then they won Friday, and the Brewers lost, and you were starting to conjure up some things. And I think here we are a week later. It looks like the Cubs and the 4 seed are destined to be married here. I think it's their 4 seed to lose. Will it come down to that 7 games in the 10 days? Probably against the team up north. But yeah, I think that we could be talking about two different things. I think for me, I might be a little resigned to my fate more than I realized, where a day like today, especially after the series dub, doesn't really bother me that they, had a dud today instead of a dub. But yeah, it does seem like not seem like it is. It is a trend with this team. They lose in a similar fashion, and it seems like they don't finish jobs either. Like last week against the Nationals, they could have swept. This week against the Sox, and they didn't sweep.
Yeah, you said it. It's the Brewers stuff. Like a week ago at this time, you're 3 back. They're going to LA. You got 1 with Washington, 3 with St. Louis, 3 with the Sox. You'd think a week later, and I think that's where my disappointment comes in, is the realization. Yeah. The realization now that this looks like a way more uphill battle than it was 7 days ago. And right. It's because, A, the Brewers went in and won a bunch of games, but it's also because you lost a series at home to St. Louis, and then you got shut out twice at the beginning and at the end of that stretch. And, it all comes back to Milwaukee, man. You're 20 games over 500. 20 games over 500, and you're still 5 back of the division. It irritates me. It just does. I really wanted to win that. And again, it's not over yet. They still got 7 to play, but this 3 and 4 stretch, it just highlights how small the margin of error is if that's your goal. And if your goal is to be the 4 seed and all that, then that's fine. And, it is shaping up to be a 93-94 win team where you go, that was an unbelievable season. And it's just like, what can you do at this point? You just shrug your shoulders and move forward. Some notes from this game. There's not a lot. Ryan Rollison, 3 of his last 4 outings haven't been good. He gave up 2 more runs today. I do think we'll talk about this in a bit with the pitching updates. I do think that some of these guys, Matt, that have carried us here, or at least got us here, the Thorntons and the Rollisons of the world, are starting to leak oil a bit. But the good news is you got guys coming back soon, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I think Rollison does seem to be appearing to hit a little bit of a wall. He might not be made in the mold of like a Pomerantz or a Thielbar from last year, the lefties, where it's sustainable the entire campaign. And so he was a good story, especially in the first half, but he has not been sharp at all recently.
Offensively from this game, I mean, literally everybody 0 for except for Tyrone Taylor, who went just to talk about the state of the game for a sec. He goes 2 for 2. He's the only guy on the team that got any hits, and he got pinch hit for in the 9th.
Yeah, it's not great.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. But all right, well, there is some good news, some really, really good news injury-wise. I want to talk about that, the current pitching situation, all that good stuff coming up next.
Welcome back to 5-Hour Energy. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots treat your taste buds to an explosion of fruity flavor with a tasty caffeine kick. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. It's a zero sugar treat that's sweet tooth approved. Plus, it's so convenient, just a small portable shot you can grab whenever you need a little pick-me-up, and it can become your go-to when you want something sweet without going too overboard. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com. That's 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Nothing like watching a Cubs game, besides for today. Even better when you get to watch it live. The excitement, the fans. The only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's where there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. Here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. Folks, we are so spoiled as a fan base that we get to go to Wrigley Field to watch our team play. I look around the league. Oh, the two-time defending champ Dodgers. Nobody's at their stadium in the middle of the day. They don't care. They're mailed it in. We have the best atmosphere, the best park, not only in baseball, but maybe in all of sports. Take advantage of it. Go on Game Time. Go see one of these games here in September as the Cubs kind of close out this postseason race. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Alongside Matt Cozy, I'm Sam Olber. We are lifelong fans taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. And thank you for making Locked On Cubs the #1 Cubs podcast. A shout out to the everydayers. You can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. And congratulations, everybody listening here. You and I and everybody scored as many runs as the Cubs did this afternoon. All right. Some good news, Matt. I want to ask you a question about the bullpen. I want to ask you a question right now. So Daniel Palencia is going to get activated on Friday in Seattle. Okay,
yeah, that's cool.
That's official. That's happening. Okay, Ben Brown throwing a live on Friday. They finally reported Justin Steele is close to facing live hitters. I believe that's also happening on Friday. Right now. Let's go back to last year. One of my favorite parts of the run to last year and in the postseason is there were 5 reliable bullpen dudes when you had a lead that you could go to. Pomerantz, Thielbar, Palencia, Kittredge, and Keller. Okay. As of right now, today, this moment, 4:13 Central, how many do you think they have right now? I think they only have one.
Yeah, I would maybe argue for like a wild card spot, like a Peterson or a Ray, but that is the troublesome part, is that only one person is clear. Webb.
Yeah, and the thing is Council's very adamant. Oh, well, guys don't have roles, this and that, and that's fine. But I do think you need it doesn't matter what the inning or the situation, but you need your reliable dudes, and you at least need them knowing that, hey, I'm a bullpen guy or I'm not. I don't like where that's headed. So my point is with Palencia coming back Friday, Brown and Steele potentially coming back soon. I do think it's not a what's the word? It's not like a bonus. It's a necessity that at least one of those 3 guys becomes really big.
Have to. And where's Holby Milner? Because I feel like he could be a big piece as well. So right there you have Webb, Palencia, and Milner going back. The back of the game.
And he said Milner's throwing, I think, today in the minors, but that's been weird.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back next week then or something, or maybe Sunday in Seattle, or sometime on their road trip. So yeah, I would say Webb, Palencia, you feel like they're going to figure something out with an active player right now, whether it's Peterson, Ray, Assad, Boyd, potentially. Do they get weird with Shota? Does Cabrera contribute anyway?
So you just mentioned every pitcher, that's my point. There's just a lot.
Yeah.
They get some stuff figured out.
But I do think where it could get really fun and impactful is a 1-inning stint by either Brown or Steele.
Yeah.
And in my GM universe, they would both be in the mix.
Yeah.
Shelby Miller would be a 1-inning guy.
Yep.
And so you have all these guys now. I don't think Thornton's completely hit the wall, but hey, guess what? If you have Steele, Brown, and Miller, and Assad, for example, plus Palencia, plus Webb, well, Thornton, okay, then hey, thank you, but your time is done. Rollison doesn't look as attractive when you have Milner back. Is Thielbar getting better? Does Peterson become a good reliever? We saw him do well the other day out of the pen. So I think there is a little more questions than answers, but I don't know if I see it as a problem as much as another consequence of all the injuries they've had all year.
I just don't love that it's August 19th and about 70% of the guys you mentioned aren't on the team. And we don't know. It's just a lot of we're a month and a half away from a playoff game.
I just think a bullpen needs to be ready. Like the bullpen needs to be set and ready on September 29th. I really do.
Yeah, no, me too. So they got about a month plus to figure it out. And
they may pitch like the best bullpen in history for that 3 weeks.
And again, and that's not to say they need defined roles. This guy pitches the 7th or 8th. Not at all. But I do think they need a group of guys that, hey, we have a lead. This is that we're going to do this guy versus lefties. This is, right. They need some sort of direction because right now there's no direction. And I genuinely believe a lot of the guys that are pitching in high leverage right now, Thielbar, Rolison, Thornton, may not be in the mix in a few weeks, in a month, and that's just a little unsettling to me.
I really want to see them commit to Brown and Steele as short relievers, where you could literally go Brown to Steele to Palencia to Webb. Oh. Does that not sound attractive? It does to me. I think these guys should be, after their live, sessions this week, maybe into the middle or late next week, and then the following week, they could be ready to go to an affiliate.
Yeah, I think
those guys should get to their affiliate. They should face 3 guys and put their shoes on.
Yeah, I think Brown will probably be faster since he's pitched this season. But I think it should be all systems go. I don't see why not. And the rehab assignments will be important. I memean, relievers are streaky. They're streaky.
Exactly.
And so, you want to make sure that everyone's doing well before they come up. But but it's good news. It's good news that the reinforcements are coming. I guess the point of this segment on my end is it's not like fool's gold. I think they need them. And I think they need them badly.
Yeah. And Sam, there's no reason for Palencia to be back in the closer's role.
Oh,
it's Webb's job.
Well, it'll be
flourishing.
Or the biggest spot of the game is going to go to Webb. Maybe it's the 8th, bases loaded, whatever the highest.
You're right.
Yeah, whatever the highest leverage spot is, it'll go to Webb. And I'm fascinated to see Palencia because it's really, he's had a very odd season. When he was healthy, he never pitched. There was never opportunities for him to get saves. Then he wasn't healthy. Then he came back. Then he wasn't healthy again. He did pitch in some of the highest leverage baseball you could pitch in the WBC, which was great to see. But that was a long time ago, and the Cubs need him. If they could get the Palencia version of last year, it really kind of solves a lot of things.
Yeah, it would be a huge bonus to a team that you could see the repercussions even just within the last week of having the short end of the stick with their depth or their impact in the pen. And, that probably means we've seen the last of Savali. We've probably seen him for the last time today. I'm sure he'll get swapped out on Friday night for Palencia, unless they send Assad down. But I don't think they will.
If they send him down again, I'm going with him.
Yeah.
If Assad goes down, I'll do the shows from Iowa. I'll go with him. I'll call him. I'll contact him.
Pull up your computer.
Maybe him and
his Wi-Fi in Des Moines.
Maybe him and I can get like a nice 2-bedroom loft or something. I'm going with Assad. Out of support, I'm moving Iowa. All right. Yeah. Overall, I mean, I do want to say before we move on to Hap here, Sox are good. Sox are good. I mean, I got to see them up close. Sox are good. I think what's going to end up costing them is they did not do enough at the deadline for their pitching. They're
just a little thin.
They're a little. I think they're really thin there.
Okay,
but they're good, man. They got grinders all over the place. They had a bunch of homers. They're confident. They're good. That was a they were step for step with the Cubs all series. Could have easily won all 3. They're a good team. I don't. It's not like the Brewers or Cardinals for me. I got no problem. I mean, they're a really good team. What's not good right now is Ian Happ. We talk about that and some crosstown memories coming up next.
Today's episode is brought to you by Dose Daily. Can we talk about one of the most underrated organs in your body? It's your liver. It's your body's filter, processing everything you consume and performing more than 500 functions every day. It's involved in things like energy production, digestion, fat metabolism, and vitamin storage. So it's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. That's why giving your liver daily support can be an important part of building healthy habits. Dose for Your Liver is a clinically backed liver health supplement designed to support daily liver function. And unlike another capsule or powder, Dose comes as a liquid 2-ounce daily shot that tastes like fresh squeezed orange juice. Zero sugar, zero junk, zero calories, making it an easy addition to your daily routine. You should probably take Dose first thing in the morning. You grab your coffee, you check your phone, you're getting ready for the day. It would just fit right in there. It's one of those things that's so quick, you don't really have to think about it. You just do it and move on. Ready to give your liver the support it deserves? Head to dosedaily.co/LockedOnMLB or enter LockedOnMLB to get 35% off your first subscription. Your body does so much for you. Let's do something for it. dosedaily.co/LockedOnMLB for 35% off your first month subscription with Dose Daily.
Don't forget to subscribe. Please make sure. This way you don't miss anything from Joe George, the postcast, all the Cubs great content we've got for you. We're like 250 away from 20K. I really want to celebrate that. I really want it to happen soon. I think 20K on YouTube for something that's mostly an audio driven thing is pretty cool. So yeah. Matt, last week I did an episode about Ian Happ. I titled it, I think something like, "Why is Ian Happ so polarizing?" And I think it came off to a lot of people as I was defending Ian. I was doing neither. I was just basically making the point that I just think he's fine. He's all right. Like, I don't understand why he's such a hot topic for Cub fans. Maybe it's because he's been here for so long. But he hasn't even been fine now for a good long while. Here's a stat that I actually calculated by hand myself today during this snore fest of a baseball game. Ian Happ, I always get confused when people say since, so I just like to say backdating starting May 31st. Because if I say since May 31st, in my head, that means like starting June 1. I don't know the grammar on that. Starting May 31st, Ian Happ is 47 for his last 240. That's a 195 batting average. That's 2.5 months of a left fielder, an offensive position, playing every day, hitting sub 200. It's unacceptable. I would be shocked if he got more than 13, 14 million a year in free agency, wherever he decides to go. I really think the Cubs need to consider batting him down in the order as a lefty. Craig has already removed his everyday credentials. And I do think it's time to start admitting this has been a poor season so far for Ian Happ, despite what the WRC plus number says on the offensive side.
Yeah, it has been. And he's like you said, he's been struggling for a long time. I think for a little bit there, it was a focus or a framing, not necessarily by us, but a framing of his diminishing results from the right side of the plate, but it's actually been both sides. The inability to hit for average is to even like a 220, 230 clip, I think is surprising for a player that's in his 10th season with this team. I think it definitely could be a sign of things to come for him, whether it's kind of the last few years of his career, post 26, or where he's going to spend that, or how much he's going to make, as you say, or really what his role offensively is going to be moving forward. Because with this team, he's batted so high in the order, whether it's leadoff, third, fourth, fifth. It does seem like now with 35-ish games left, there is going to be some maneuvering of him down to the lower third. I think that's definitely where he should be. And if there's a lefty that starts the game right now in his career, there is no reason for him to start. Like, he started the game I went to against Eric Lauer, and Pete DH. Tyrone Taylor played center, which I guess that, meant Happ had to play left.
Sure.
but I would almost say like that should be the last that should have been the last time, but a couple weeks ago. And I really wanted him see and get it go lefty again. He's got that sweet swing when he does, connect the right way and finish, especially with his slug. But shoot, I mean, besides against the Royals, like when was the last time he even homered?
Yeah, and the good news is September historically is his best month. So maybe he'll get hot again. He had a great September last year. I just think I'm just tired of, and the reason why I did that episode was I think it was right after the Royals series when he got hot, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ian's." It's like if he has a couple great games, great. I'd like to see it for a long time. I do think the Cubs, out of respect to Ian, will make him an offer as he leaves. But if it were me, if I were Jed, I'm being honest, and I don't mean to insult Ian. I don't. I think he's a great guy. I'm sure he is, at least. I think it would be like a 1 year, $10 million offer. Like it would be really something light like that. I just think in this day and age, you could get that production at a cheaper value, and the Brewers are obviously the example of it, but it's just hasn't been good enough for me, Matt. But it's just frustrating because it is 10 years. This is probably the best Cub team he's ever been on, or at least since the Rizzo days, and just seems kind of there to me. So, last thing before we wrap up here, I thought it's unfortunate that today was a matinee because I do think this was up there for the best crosstown series, and really both editions of it. The Sunday game at whatever it's called, Rate Field now, was terrific. And the first two games of this series were terrific. 3-3 split. Do they still do the Crosstown Cup? Is that a thing or no?
No, not anymore.
Okay. This was, I believe, the Sox first win at Wrigley Field since 23. But it was, to be honest, it was one of the best ones I could remember. I mean, some of my Crosstown memories, obviously the Morel walk-off was great. I remember the Cubs, I think, had back-to-back. It was either 08 or 09 where Ramos, I think Ramos had a walk-off homer against the Sox, and then D. Lee had one. There are a lot of great memories. My most fond memory actually came at a loss. When I was a kid, I think it was 01. It could have been 2000. I don't remember the year. Someone could look it up. I was, very little, but I remember. And it was the only first of 3 or 4 times where I went to a Cubs Sox game on the South Side. And my dad took me and somebody that worked for him at the time. And it was a night game. And we sat in the bleachers, right field stands. And Sammy Sosa, I want to say, he was either 0 for 4 with 4 Ks or 0 for 5 with 5 Ks in the game. And then in the 9th inning, down 2 with 2 outs, hit a game-tying homer to tie it.
Wow!
And I think the Cubs lost on a walk-off that night because I think my dad had to take me home because I was so little and it was so late.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember that atmosphere and him hitting a homer because I think the Sox were good that year, and it was that was my favorite one.
Yeah, I thought they really lost an opportunity to have a cherry on top with a night game today.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just too bad for the schedule makers or whatever. Yeah, the first 2 games with the walk-off wins was really exciting. It was almost 3 years to the Morel game. I know there was a couple games that were too close for comfort the last couple of years. Even though the White Sox were so bad, I remember kind of fighting tooth and nail for those. And
they always battle us, man.
Yeah, they do. In 2008, which is the last time both teams made the playoffs in a full season, they both won their respective home series. They both swept.
Yep, remember that.
And I just remember Jim Edmonds having some moments, and that's about all.
And I think I remember the finale at Wrigley being a Sunday nighter.
Oh, Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, with the great John Miller.
That was an event back in the day.
Yeah,
I'm like today.
No, well, right now you turn on Sunday Night Baseball and it's a nice it's a nice prep for sleep. Maybe like it's like a pre-melatonin. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. For your second listen, check out the all new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Just slightly disappointed. That's all.